When Jurassic World hit the big screen, audiences were introduced to the Tyrannosaurus Rex, a groundbreaking creation touted as the first hybrid dinosaur in the franchise. This creature wasn't just a dinosaur, it was an engineered marvel, crafted from the DNA of various prehistoric giants and modern animals. Its sheer size, intelligence, and brutality were designed to captivate and terrify. Then, just a few years later in Fallen Kingdom, we met its successor, the Indoraptor, a creature sometimes referred to as the Indominus raptor. This nightmare-inducing hybrid combined the sleek deadliness of a velociraptor with the raw power of the Indominus Rex. Picture this: a creature larger than almost any real-life raptor species but retaining an unsettling level of agility. It boasted a curved, razor-sharp sickle claw that seemed purpose-built for disemboweling prey. And as if that weren't terrifying enough, it's freakishly long. Slender man-like arms ended in claws so menacing they'd make Freddy Krueger look underprepared. While smaller than the Indominus Rex, the Indoraptor's chilling design arguably made it more unsettling. It was the kind of creature that didn't just kill, it stalked, tormented, and played with its prey. Its eerie mix of speed, intelligence, and sheer malice gave it an edge that made audiences shudder. And it's no surprise these two hybrids shared such similarities after all. The Indoraptor was born from a simple yet spine-chilling question. What would happen if you fused the DNA of the Indominus Rex with a real velociraptor? But what if I told you that nature already answered this question millions of years ago? That's right, roughly 150 million years ago. During the late Jurassic period, evolution brought forth a group of dinosaurs that shared an uncanny resemblance to the Indoraptor. They were like nature's prototype for Hollywood's most terrifying hybrid, with some traits even more bizarre and, in some ways, more horrifying. Enter the Megaraptorans, a mysterious family of theropod dinosaurs that continue to baffle paleontologists to this day. These creatures had bodies that seemed straight out of a horror movie, with each species following a nightmarish blueprint that would have made them perfect antagonists in Jurassic Park. Like the Indoraptor, the Megaraptorans were predators built for speed, agility, and lethal efficiency. But unlike their fictional counterpart, they were equipped with features so extreme they could almost feel supernatural. Take a look at this. What you're seeing isn't a massive sickle claw on some oversized raptor's foot. No, this monstrous appendage is actually a hand, and it belonged to the Megaraptor, the dinosaur that gave its name to the entire group. The Megaraptor was discovered in Argentina just before the turn of the century, and when paleontologists first unearthed its remains, they believed they had found a colossal raptor species. Their initial conclusion was based on the discovery of a single massive claw, which they assumed belonged to the dinosaur's foot. But as more fossils came to light, paleontologists realized they had it wrong. That claw wasn't from the foot, it was from the hand. Measuring an incredible 30 centimeters or 12 inches, this claw was as long as a ruler or one of the biggest Bowie knives you can imagine. To put it in perspective, this is the largest claw ever found on a predatory animal. It sat on the Megaraptor's first finger, essentially turning its hands into weapons of pure destruction. Subscribe to my channel and leave a comment below. Your support means everything. Imagine facing a predator with claws that size, not just one but two massive, curved blades that could slash through flesh and bone with terrifying ease. These claws weren't just tools for hunting, they were instruments of dominance, ensuring the Megaraptor ruled over its domain. And yet, the Megaraptor didn't hold its terrifying title for long. Over the next 2 decades, paleontologists uncovered more members of this fearsome family, introducing us to a total of 11 different genera within the Megaraptoran group. Each new discovery seemed to outdo the last, revealing creatures even more terrifying than the original. But what's truly wild is that these additional finds have taught us one startling fact. The Megaraptoran's legendary claws were far deadlier than anyone had first imagined. You see, these predators didn't just have one built-in sword, they had two. Their second finger was equipped with an enlarged, recurved claw nearly identical to the first. Both claws were shockingly sharp, incredibly long, and perfectly designed for slicing through flesh like butter. And if that isn't unsettling enough, paleontologists believe these claws were likely even longer in life. Why? Because they were covered in a keratinous sheath, the same material found in human fingernails and bird beaks, which could have extended their length by an additional 30%. Now, their third finger might not have carried the same monstrous blades, but it was still a force to be reckoned with, razor-sharp and capable of delivering lethal slashes. Yet the real terror of the Megaraptoran claws didn't come solely from their size or shape, it was what backed them up. These claws were attached to arms that would make even the mighty Tyrannosaurus Rex feel inadequate. Megaraptoran arms were massive, muscular, and built for power. Their bones were designed for durability and flexibility, allowing these predators to maneuver their claws with incredible precision and speed. This adaptability turned their claws into multi-purpose weapons, functioning like swords for swift, slicing attacks or spears for deep, penetrating strikes. Either way, the outcome for their prey was the same: devastating wounds, catastrophic internal damage, and ultimately, a gruesome death. And their claws didn't stop being useful just because their prey was no longer alive. Researchers believe Megaraptorans used their claws to rake apart carcasses, tearing open bodies to access hard-to-reach meat and disembowel their meals. In short, these predators didn't just kill efficiently, they consumed their victims with brutal effectiveness. Now, you might think that's enough to paint a vivid picture of why encountering a Megaraptoran would be a nightmare scenario, but we're just scratching the surface here. To truly grasp the sheer horror of these creatures, we need to talk about how they hunted prey of different sizes. For larger dinosaurs, Megaraptorans likely employed a method that can only be described as calculated brutality. With their giant claws, they would deliver fatal slashes and deep puncture wounds, using their strength and agility to bring down animals several times their own size. Once their prey collapsed, they'd carve it up into manageable pieces, dismembering their victim with surgical precision before feasting. Now, as horrifying as that sounds, it pales in comparison to what they likely did to smaller prey, especially those around human size. For these unfortunate creatures, Megaraptorans employed a strategy that was both methodical and utterly grotesque. First, they would catch their prey using their long, flexible arms and powerful claws. Then, they'd grip the victim tightly and impale it on their hooked talons, essentially turning their prey into a living shish kebab. And here's the kicker: they didn't wait for their prey to die. While still alive and likely screaming in agony, the Megaraptorans would start eating, tearing chunks of flesh off their impaled victim like a person biting into a slice of pizza if that pizza were alive and writhing in terror. This horrifying feeding method was made possible by their highly specialized shoulders, which were hyperflexible and far more advanced than those of most other predators. These adaptations allowed Megaraptorans to lift their prey toward their mouths with ease, giving them a feeding style that was as gruesome as it was efficient. And while their claws were undoubtedly their most terrifying feature, their mouths weren't to be underestimated either. In fact, the diversity of their teeth is one of the most fascinating aspects of this group. Unlike most predators, whose teeth tend to follow a standard design within their family, Megaraptoran teeth varied significantly between genera. It's as if each member of the group was drawing inspiration from different notorious carnivores, creating a variety of deadly bite profiles. For example, the Megaraptor itself sported frontal teeth that were strikingly similar to those seen in Tyrannosauroids. These teeth were chisel-like, with a distinctive D-shaped cross-section that made them perfect for gripping and slicing through tough flesh. Meanwhile, Murasraptor took a slightly more dramatic approach, showcasing teeth that resembled fangs, sharp, elongated, and ideal for puncturing its prey. But the oddities didn't stop there. Other Megaraptorans, like Stratlavenator and Orcoraptor, seemed to take inspiration from entirely different dinosaur lineages. Their teeth had a unique combination of features, smooth and flat on the front, serrated on the back. This design closely mirrored the teeth of compsognathids and dromaeosaurs, which were built for precise cuts and efficient dismemberment. And then we have the Fukuraptor, whose teeth might take the prize for being the least visually appealing of the group. These laterally compressed blade-like chompers bore a striking resemblance to the infamous Carcharodontosaurus. If that name rings a bell, it's because Carcharodontosaurus is renowned for having shark-like teeth, razor-sharp weapons, capable of slicing through flesh with horrifying efficiency. Interestingly, studies suggest that Megaraptorans didn't rely on sheer jaw strength to deliver deadly bites. Their mouths likely couldn't open or close with the force seen in other predators like Tyrannosaurus Rex. But with teeth so finely tuned for cutting and tearing, brute force wasn't necessary. Their teeth, much like the rest of their arsenal, were expertly designed for one purpose: to kill. And when you remember that these dinosaurs already had their terrifying claws and powerful arms, their bite strength becomes less of a concern. In fact, it's in the teeth department that the Megaraptorans arguably outshine even the genetically engineered Indoraptor. Sure, Indoraptor's teeth looked intimidating on the surface, but they were small and primarily designed for gripping, not for tearing flesh or puncturing armor like hides. And let's talk about size, because nature's own creations win this round too. Among Megaraptorans, one of the closest in size to Indoraptor would be Aristean, an Argentine genus that weighed approximately 1.1 tons and measured about 7.5 meters, nearly 25 feet long. That's pretty close to the stats of Dr. Wu's fictional predator. But here's the crazy part. Aristean wasn't even considered large for its family. It was more of a medium-sized member. Almost half of the known Megaraptorans were significantly bigger than the Indoraptor. Dinosaurs like Orcaraptor, Megaraptor, and Tratagonia all measured over 8 meters in length, making them some of the largest predators in their ecosystems. And then there are the record breakers. For example, the largest theropod ever discovered in Australia is believed to have been a Megaraptoran, a fitting title for a country already famous for its terrifying wildlife. But even Australia couldn't compete with the giants found elsewhere. To meet the biggest member of the Megaraptoran family, you'd need to travel back in time to late Cretaceous Argentina, where one dinosaur stood above the rest: the Mape. Yes, the Mape. While the name might sound a little unassuming, make no mistake, there was nothing funny about this colossal predator. At a staggering 10 meters 33 feet in length, this dinosaur wasn't just the largest Megaraptoran. It was one of the largest theropods of its time. For comparison, it was longer than the biggest confirmed specimens of Allosaurus. And with this size came unmatched power. Mape dominated its environment, likely preying on almost anything it encountered. Its menu might have included armored ankylosaurs, fast-moving hadrosaurs, and even sizable ornithopods. But it doesn't stop there. Some researchers believe that Mape might have even been capable of hunting the Lodotin, a coexisting titanosaur. Imagine this: a massive Mape lunging at a titanosaur, its enormous claws tearing into the giant's flanks while its blade-like teeth inflicted additional wounds. This combination of deadly weapons would have made even the largest prey vulnerable, proving once again that Megaraptorans were some of the most efficient predators to ever roam the earth. And while no claws from this terrifying beast have been unearthed yet, researchers have made some educated estimates based on its closest relatives. They suggest these claws were nothing short of monstrous, likely measuring at least 37.5 centimeters, or a whopping 15 inches in length. That's enough to crown this creature as the predator with the largest claws in history, outclassing even pop culture's Freddy Krueger. This isn't just speculation either. This deadly reputation is reflected in its very name. Although it may sound tame in English, the name Mape carries a deeply sinister meaning. It hails from the mythology of the indigenous Ayanakank people, where it refers to the shadow of death, a malevolent spirit that kills with cold, merciless winds. Fitting, isn't it? So imagine yourself stepping into a dense forest clearing, the sunlight barely filtering through the trees, and you see one of these creatures prowling nearby. Or honestly, any Megaraptoran for that matter. Your heart would no doubt skip a beat at the sight. But what would truly send your pulse skyrocketing would be the realization that these dinosaurs could run, and far faster than their size should allow. You see, the Megaraptorans weren't just deadly, they were remarkably quick and agile for their bulk. Their secret? Bones that were as much air as they were solid. Many dinosaurs had hollow pneumatized bones to reduce weight, but in Megaraptorans, this adaptation was pushed to the extreme. In fact, only one other theropod, Neovenator, is known to rival the hollowness found in Megaraptoran skeletons. This wasn't limited to just a few bones either. Every major part of their skeleton, from the ribs to the vertebrae, was pneumatized. The ilium, the massive pelvic bone that anchored their powerful hind limbs, was also shockingly hollow. Together, these features made Megaraptorans incredibly lightweight for their size. Take Megaraptor itself as an example. It weighed around 1 ton, which might sound like a lot until you realize that an Allosaurus of similar length would have weighed 50% more. And the differences got even crazier. The Australovenator, another member of the family, tipped the scales at an estimated 310 kilograms, about 680 pounds, despite being over 6 meters, or 20 feet long. This extreme lightness has led paleontologists to speculate that some members of this group might have been the cheetahs of their time. With their hollow bones and relatively slender, lightweight legs, they could likely sprint at surprising speeds, chasing down prey or ambushing them with ninja-like precision. Their build even resembled that of Coelurosaurs, a group known for its adaptations for running. This combination of agility and speed made Megaraptorans apex predators of their environment stealthy, fast, and undeniably lethal. Even the largest among them could likely outrun or outmaneuver slower prey. Staging ambush with their massive claws acting like prehistoric shukos, the deadly climbing claws used by ninjas. But as deadly as these predators were to their prey, they weren't above turning on each other. Evidence from the fossil record suggests that infighting was not uncommon. One Murus raptor specimen from Argentina has revealed a chilling story of rivalry. Its skull showed 2 deep puncture wounds, likely inflicted by another Murus raptor. The wounds became severely infected, and researchers believe this individual had more than a 50% chance of succumbing to its injuries. This aggressive behavior may have been a key factor in the success of the Megaraptorans, helping them establish dominion over 3 continents: South America, Australia, and Asia. Argentina, Australia, Thailand, and Japan served as their primary strongholds, with these predators thriving in a variety of habitats. But if you were hoping to avoid one of these real-life nightmares, you'd need to steer clear of water. Megaraptorans tended to favor wet environments, such as river systems, floodplains, and coastal areas. These regions provided a diverse buffet of prey, ranging from large herbivorous dinosaurs to smaller reptiles and amphibians. And it's possible their diets weren't limited to terrestrial prey. Some researchers speculate that certain Megaraptorans may have been opportunistic hunters, targeting marine and semi-aquatic animals like crocodilians, large turtles, and even sizable fish. In these environments, their lightweight bodies and powerful limbs would have made them as lethal in the shallows as they were on land. Once upon a time, paleontologists believed that Megaraptorans were aquatic hunters, using their enormous claws to spear and trap fish like prehistoric fishing masters. It was a compelling theory, painting them as the ultimate predators of ancient rivers and coastlines. But as more fossils and data came to light, that idea began to unravel. Today, the consensus is that these dinosaurs weren't aquatic specialists at all. Instead, their adaptations firmly point to them being terrestrial predators prowling the land as apex hunters. And when we say apex hunters, we mean they often dominated their ecosystems, standing unchallenged at the top of the food chain. That said, this wasn't always the case. Fossil evidence tells us they had fierce rivals in the form of carcharodontozoids, a family of theropods known for their massive size and specialization in hunting large prey. These two predator groups clashed primarily in South America, where their overlapping territories created a prehistoric rivalry worthy of its own nature documentary. Faced with competition from their larger, bulkier cousins, the Megaraptorans leaned into their greatest advantages: speed and agility. This strategy paid off in the long run. After the extinction of carcharodontozoids around 90 million years ago, the Megaraptorans underwent a dramatic size increase, stepping up to fill the void left by their fallen competitors. But here's an intriguing twist. Despite their differences, Megaraptorans and carcharodontozoids shared a strangely similar braincase design, hinting that they might have had comparable levels of intelligence. Now no one's claiming that carcharodontozoids or Megaraptorans, for that matter, were dinosaurian Einsteins, but their intelligence has been likened to that of modern crocodiles. And don't let the croc's cold-blooded demeanor fool you, these reptiles can be surprisingly clever. They've been observed setting traps, coordinating hunts, and even using tools to lure prey. If carcharodontozoids had similar smarts, and if any of that rubbed off on the Megaraptorans, it's safe to say that neighboring herbivores were in for a bad day, if not their last. Despite their shared traits and the mysteries surrounding their relationship, Megaraptorans are not currently classified as part of the Carcharodontosauria family. In fact, no one truly knows where they belong. While they have their own family, Megaraptoridae, their placement within the broader theropod family tree remains one of paleontology's great enigmas. When they were first discovered, paleontologists thought they were giant dromaeosaurs, a family that includes Velociraptor. This made sense at the time because of their large claws, but the absence of an enlarged sickle-shaped toe claw eventually debunked that theory. Next, scientists linked them to Neovenatoridae due to their hollow bones. But that connection didn't hold up either, and so two new competing theories have emerged. One camp suggests that Megaraptorans were tyrannosauroids, potentially related to the infamous tyrannosaurids like Tyrannosaurus Rex. The other theory posits that they were non-tyrannosauroid coelurosaurs, a catch-all category that doesn't provide many answers. And the mysteries don't stop there. Even their origins are a puzzle. Currently, the leading hypothesis is that Megaraptorans originated in Asia during the waning days of the Jurassic period. From there, they made their way to Australia in the early Cretaceous before continuing their journey to South America, likely traveling via Antarctica. These dinosaurs weren't just apex predators, they were explorers, expanding their territory across continents and thriving in diverse environments. And thrive they did. Megaraptorans were so good at being predators that their traits arguably surpassed those of many other theropods. Take their longevity, for example. Tyrannosauridae ruled for roughly 16 million years. Spinosauridae lasted about 46 million. Even the mighty Carcharodontosauri only held on for 64 million years. But Megaraptorans? They endured for an astonishing 84 million years, making them one of the longest-lived dinosaur groups in history. Unlike some species that shrink or become less fearsome over time, Megaraptorans only became more terrifying. The last known member of their lineage was also the largest and arguably the deadliest, Mape macrothorax. With its massive size, formidable claws, and advanced adaptations, Mape was the ultimate culmination of everything that made Megaraptorans such effective predators. So, how did such a successful group meet its end? The answer, as with so many dinosaurs, lies in the catastrophic events of 66 million years ago. A massive asteroid struck the Earth, triggering a chain reaction of devastation that wiped out all non-avian dinosaurs, including the mighty Megaraptorans. Not even their unparalleled survival skills could withstand a global apocalypse. To this day, their legacy endures as a testament to nature's ability to craft near-perfect killing machines. And as we wait for a modern animal to evolve claws as impressive as theirs, we're left wondering, what would the world be like if they had survived?